The Children's Defense has understood this since the inception of its first CDF Freedom Schools in 1995. Joining us now is station CET in Cincinnati with a local story on the Freedom Schools in Cincinnati, Ohio. Clyde Gray is standing by. Hello, Clyde, over to you.
All right, Susie, thank you so much. You know, we've just left summer behind. Classes are back in session now for families here in southwestern Ohio. But the impact of summer can linger for kids across the country through the phenomenon of summer learning loss, or summer slide, as some call it. Well, here with me today are two guests who are fighting summer slide through their Freedom Schools programs in Dayton, Ohio. They are the Reverend Vanessa Ward from the Omega Baptist Church and Superintendent Dave Jackson, who is joining us from Northridge Local Schools. And Dave, let's start with you. So help us all get on the same page here. What exactly is summer slide?
Well, summer slide could be defined as the loss of academic skill over the summer break. When students don't practice their reading or math or other academic skills over the summer months, they begin to not only stop progressing, but actually regressing, which is why we call it the summer slide.
And so how did that show up in your school district in such a way that you decided we better do something here and let's take a look at Freedom Schools?
Well, in the Northridge Local Schools, we do a lot of progress monitoring with students, pre-test, post-test model. And what we found is at the end of one grade level, we would test kids and see one level of reading achievement or other academic achievement. And then when they returned to school in August, we would see that they had slid back 2-3 months in their skill level. So it became very worrisome as we started to have to spend 2-3 months of the new school year catching them back up to where we had them at the end of the prior school year.
Reverend Ward, to some degree the same question. What were you seeing that made you concerned enough that your church decided, I think 5 years ago, to begin the Freedom School process?
Sure. Well, we actually started seeing some differences over 10 years ago when we started a Camp Kumba, a summer program that was really about recreation and just having something to get the kids off of the streets. But once we became aware through the Learn to Earn initiative that our children needed more than just recreation, they really needed to get some type of academic instruction during the summer, we became very concerned about making sure we did more than just play. And so we found the Freedom School initiative, the Freedom School model, and we said, this is it. And we began to use it.
All right. Dave, what is it you do in your schools that makes them effective tools to combat summer slide?
Well, the Freedom School has been a new model for us for the past 2 summers. And what we've seen is, though we tried many summer programs in the past, the Freedom School is research-based. It's a 6-week program, it's a full-day program, and it's a program from the Children's Defense Fund. And what we've seen is that program has helped us to curb the summer slide and actually has kids loving to read and excited about coming to school.
Kids loving to read. How about that? So, Reverend Ward, what does a day look like in a Freedom School that makes kids excited to read?
Well, to start off at the beginning of the day, we have about 30 minutes of what we call Harambe. During that time, they are singing songs that affirm their identity, their culture, their commitment to learn today. The instructors talk to them about spending the day doing positive things and reading. And then for the first 3 hours, they're in something called integrated reading curriculum, where they're reading books and they're talking about those books and they're acting out those books. After lunch, then they go into enrichment time, and you can do all kinds of things with arts and reading and swimming and art, just lots of other things. And then that's the end of the day. So each day is filled with academics, but also a wonderful opportunity for them to engage in community.
Very briefly from the both of you, what have you seen that most impressed you about Freedom Schools?
Can I say what most impresses me is that it's bringing together of generations, because the instructors are actually college students, and those students receive instruction. They go down to the Alex Haley farm, spend a week where they are learning the integrated reading curriculum, and they learn of others. They learn of the history because it's culturally based on the freedom model of the 60s. And they learn that this is important to share that and to pass back on to this community what they have gotten. An education, a college education. And these little kids look up to them because they say, you know, they're closer in age to me. it makes a difference.
Dave, I want to ask you a slightly different question. We've got just a little bit of time left. What differences have you noted? What are the most stark differences that you've noticed as a result of these schools?
Well, in terms of achievement, it's been very exciting. Instead of losing 2 to 3 months during the summer slide months, what we've seen is actually a 3 or more month gain in academic skill and reading over those months. And then the other thing is kids and parents who have been disengaged with school are now engaged and excited about coming to school and wanting to be there and wanting to read. And that makes it worthwhile in and of itself.
All right. We've been talking with the Reverend Vanessa Ward of Omega Baptist Church and also with Superintendent Dave Jackson from the Northridge Schools about Freedom Schools. Thank you both very much for speaking with us. And so now we're going to send it back to Susie Garib in New York as we continue American Graduate Day 2015. Susie?
Thank you so much, Clyde.